What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the JT Sports Podcast. I'm your host, JT. What a game. The 49ers get a gritty 26-24 win on Thursday night over the Rams. The 49ers had every reason to lose this game. They're coming in down multiple starters, and then they're losing guys as the game is progressing. And then you got guys stepping up when their name is called. And that's what football is about. When guys get injured, it's the next man up. The next man has to be able to come up and make plays. And you had a lot of 49ers backups that made a bunch of them. How about Mac Jones having a masterclass out of nowhere? He was looking like the second coming of Tom Brady tonight. Kyle Shanahan was cooking the Rams defense with his dream quarterback. Y'all forgot that Kyle Shanahan, a few years ago when they traded up for Trey Lance, he initially wanted Mac Jones, but he was talked out of getting Mac Jones because he was told you can't trade up that high and get a guy like Mac Jones that has limited ceiling. So he had no choice but to go for the upside in that situation. But what if Kyle Shanahan did get his wish and he was able to draft Mac Jones like how he initially wanted to? Maybe the 49ers would have already have won a Super Bowl, because with how Mac Jones was balling tonight against the Rams, he proved that Brock Purdy, without a doubt, is a system quarterback, and he is the beneficiary of playing in a scheme that elevates every quarterback that's inserted into it. And with all of the talent that Brock Purdy has around him, Mac Jones has kind of revealed the truth about Brock Purdy. And also, Mac Jones was putting on a masterclass with backups around him. He didn't have Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings. The only two stars that the 49ers had available on offense to help out Mac Jones was Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey. That was it. How about Kendrick Bourne, who is coming off a performance last week that he definitely wish he could go back and redo? Over 100 yards. He was leading the 49ers tonight in receiving yards, receptions. No matter what the Rams did defensively, they just had no answer for Mac Jones and this 49ers offense. And the Rams defense really was soft in this game. They just allowed the 49ers to dink and dunk their way down the field. They didn't play a lot of tight press coverage. They didn't blitz as much as what they should. If you have a quarterback that's on a hobble leg, one leg at that, can barely move on it, why are you not sending more pressure? Why are you making it easy for him to get the ball out fast? I did not understand the Rams' defensive game plan against the 49ers tonight. So you just wanted to allow the 49ers down everybody at receiver to have an easy display of offense by being able to just get 5-yard checkdowns all game long. The defensive strategy for the Rams was awful. If you got a backup quarterback with backup receivers, you should be blitzing the hell out of them. You should be playing press coverage all night long. And Sean McVay's 4th and 1 play call was absolutely terrible. I have no issue with him going for it on 4th and 1. He played for the win. That's what you should do on overtime. You shouldn't be playing for a tie. But the issue with Sean McVay's 4th and 1 play call was that why are we running halfback dive and we have Jordan Whittington, a wide receiver, blocking Fred Warner? What kind of nonsense was that, Sean McVay? If you're going to go for it on 4th and 1, you should have put the ball in Matthew Stafford's hands, because that's what got you back in this game. What costed you this game were the costly fumbles by your running backs. Blake Corn fumbles early. That takes some points off the board. Then you have Kyron Williams, who fumbles the game away from you. And that fumble was caused by the San Francisco 49ers backup defensive tackle. Once again, you had guys stepping up when their name was called. That's why in football, when guys get injured, coaches can't use injuries as an excuse to keep their jobs, because good coaches get the most out of everybody that they have on their team, including backups. They're backups for a reason. They're not backups because they can't play at all. They're backups just because they're not good or better than what the starters are, but they still are good enough to make plays. They still believe that those guys can make plays. They wouldn't be on the team if otherwise. So the 49ers just made plays in the biggest moments when they needed them, and everybody executed. The Rams, they didn't execute in the crucial moments of this game, and that's what the difference was. When the 49ers had those gotta-have-it moments, they got them. Meanwhile, the Rams, you had all these turnovers, especially the one inside the red zone, and red zone turnovers, especially fumbles, are ones that hurt the most, because ball security, once you get inside the 10 and the 5, should be an absolute priority. The ball should not be easily accessible for the defender to punch out. And I've seen a lot of red zone fumbles this year, not just in the NFL, but in college football in general. These coaches have to get back to practicing the fundamentals. You overlook the fundamentals because you think that the fundamentals are something that should just come intuitively for a lot of these players, but you can overlook the fundamentals if you don't practice them routinely, and that's what happened with the Rams tonight. When you don't practice ball security drills throughout the week, you end up having guys who get loosey-goosey with the football, man. The fundamentals, not being able to execute them, also didn't do the Rams any favors tonight. And as brilliant as what Matthew Stafford was tonight, I mean, he should have just won the game for the Rams. If you're going to go for it on 4th and 1, you put the ball in your best player's hands. Kyren Williams was not the Rams' best player. Should have been Matthew Stafford. But props to the 49ers for getting a huge, much-needed win to remain on top of the NFC West. And once the 49ers get back healthy, and they will eventually get back healthy, you don't get Nick Bosa back, which is unfortunate, but you will get Ricky Pearsall. Brandon Ayuk should come off at some point. George Kittle is pretty close to coming back. So the 49ers, with how fast of a start they've gotten out to, despite all the injuries that they have, with a lot of these guys coming back, I don't see why we can't see the 49ers in the NFC Championship. I mean, if you're beating teams like the Rams, who most people believe will be in the conversation at the end of the year, like the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, with backups, you're a really good team. And the coaching of Kyle Shanahan, once again, we get reminded how brilliant of an offensive mind he is and how good of a player's coach he is as well. That gets overlooked about Kyle Shanahan. Everybody just thinks that Kyle Shanahan is this offensive guru, but he's really good at getting the most out of every single player on that roster. As we saw tonight, with all the injuries they had, they just had backups coming from every which way off the bench, making plays. Defensive tackle, big fumble on Kyle Williams. Kendrick Bourne leads the team in receiving yards and receptions. Mac Jones, masterclass performance. This was a game that the 49ers just were not going to lose. Anytime they had some adversity, it looked like the Rams were about to climb back in and win it, they would find a way to regain control of the game. And salute to Kyle Shanahan, man. Like, he gets a lot of flack for being called overrated. Sean McVay has had his number. Prior to this win, Kyle Shanahan was 7-10 against Sean McVay in their last couple of matchups. So this was one of those wins that for the 49ers could be what defines your season moving forward, because performances like this, you don't forget. Guys that are back up, stepping up, making plays, starters falling left and right. It looks like the game is starting to go in the Rams' direction in terms of the momentum that they were able to gain once Matthew Stafford and that offense really got going in the second half. And in spite of that, the 49ers walk away victorious. 26-24 is the final. Leave your thoughts on this game in the comment section down below. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts from. Apple, Spotify. The JT Sports Podcast is available. Give us a 5-star review if you enjoy. And I'll see you guys shortly with another episode.